All right, we are back. Another episode, another Wedding Wednesday here at Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. I don't even remember if I did that on the last one. Doesn't matter. We got it here, so we're fine. The
Can you
world,
do another
all
one
is
to
right.
make up for it? Because I
All is
definitely don't.
right
Okay,
with
good.
the
Okay,
universe.
Everything's back to normal.
That's
I can
right.
move on.
That's right. All right, so again, anybody who's watching us online, please check out the podcast and just subscribe. Or you don't have to listen; just do the subscribing, like whatever. If you're listening on the podcast, please, go to YouTube or on there. Like or subscribe or I don't know whatever you're supposed to do on there. I'm still not clear. I should probably look that up. But whatever you're supposed to do on there, please do that. Help us out. Again, we really do appreciate all that. But now that that's out of the way, we have a good show today. Is what I'm told. I have no idea what's coming. Just like always, I literally every time I say that.
Trust.
Yeah, every single time I say this, I literally don't know what's coming. So honestly, like could be lying to you. Like literally, I might lie. Like I might say this is gonna be awesome, and then we get to the end, and you're like, that was terrible, and you lied to me, and I'll be like, yeah, but that's because I didn't know what was coming, right? Like I genuinely don't know. I haven't heard any of this. This is all off the cuff. So whatever happens, happens. It is what it is. This is just all my takes. So let's get into it. You got something for us, so let's get into initial impressions. Hit me with it. What is the question of the day?
It is. My aunt called me ungrateful and is making my shower all about her. Also, she hates my stepmom.
All right. Seems like you have two different problems here, like two very specifically different issues. That's what it sounds like to me. That's my initial impression. It sounds like this girl is trying to double dip. She's trying to turn Wedding Wednesdays into more of a full-on life advice situation here, which I'm not necessarily opposed to. I'm just saying, like, she's really asking two different. This is like a 2-for-1. She wants like a 2-for-1 special. I don't know if I'm going to give it to her yet. I don't know. That's my initial impression. Is I feel like she's trying to take advantage of me. I don't know if I'm going to grant it to her yet. I don't know. We'll find out. I honestly don't.
Yeah, she's hijacking Wedding Wednesday a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really wanted a bridal wedding shower because my fiance and I have been living together for 5 years. There's very little we need. I wasn't keen on getting lingerie in front of family members, and it all felt like a big waste. But with some persuasion, people brought me around to the idea of a couples shower, and my aunt kept pestering me to let her plan it. My aunt is not terribly old. She is the most stringent, eloquent police officer I've ever met. And she absolutely loathes my stepmother, a detail that will be important later. She has continued to pester me for what I want the shower to be, but won't listen to my answers. She insists it must have a theme: glassware, linens, outdoors, etc. Are those themes?
No, those are just things that exist.
Are those things that the theme would have to fall like within, like that they need the theme to like get those?
I think the theme is just nouns. I think that is the theme is nouns. That's what I get from those themes. It's just
and that
nouns.
We absolutely must mail paper invitations to 30 people. I don't know what the 30 people means. Like 30 people isn't like that many people. Like I don't know if she's saying it's not worth it, but like I whatever. That's like not a horse I would like, or like that's just not something I would.
The hill that you would die on. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Thank you. I've insisted against both because the shower will be right before Christmas, and we already have a hodgepodge registry of stuff we don't really need anyway. I think a theme beyond Christmas and wedding shower will be too much and tacky. I'm also environmentally and fiscally conscious, and I think paper invitation is pointless for something as simple as a shower when a Facebook invite would more than suffice. Instead of hearing me say that, she insists I haven't given her any direction or answers in her questions. So the other day when I mentioned that I sought recommendations for the locale from my stepmother, she went off the handle and accused me of being ungrateful and difficult. Is this outrageous, or should I just let her plan her own party and suffer through
it? What? Okay, all right. So here, I guess here's my problem. who's supposed to plan this wedding or this shower? Well, first of all right, hold on. Before we actually get to that, you're gonna throw a Christmas theme bridal shower before, like, around Christmas time? What the fuck? Why? Why? Why are
I
you
don't even know why
throwing?
it needs Christmas. I think that that's like a weird, like, if you're gonna do a theme, just like don't do a theme.
That's a
Like, what
Christmas
does
party.
Christmas have?
It's a Christmas party. It's just a Christmas party. That's what that is. It's literally just a Christmas party. Like,
Yeah.
you're throwing a
Yeah.
Christmas party at that point, which is fine. I mean, I have a Christmas party, whatever you want to do. Like, I don't care. But like, that's a Christmas party, so that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think just a theme of wedding. Well, first of all, wedding is not a theme for a wedding shower, right? I mean, that's the topic. I mean, that's the occasion.
Yeah.
But that's not a theme, right? Like, wedding isn't
You
a
could
theme.
throw her a bone and at least be like, hey, I want this color, and if it has a couple flowers, that's cool. That's enough to like the aunt to like be like, you have your theme.
Well, but see, here's the thing.
Okay, you're gonna get into it. Okay.
I'm gonna let me break this down.
You do your thing. That's why we're here.
Who is supposed to be planning this shower? Who is
the
actually
aunt.
in charge? No, but who is actually in charge? Like, who is actually supposed to be planning?
The aunt.
Did this woman tell the aunt that she is supposed to be planning this shower?
What you do as the host is you talk to like the person and you get their input and then you plan it.
No.
If the host is
did
saying,
this girl tell her aunt she was supposed to plan this shower? Like,
I don't understand your question, but I guess you're looking for no.
I don't know. I'm genuinely trying to ask, because here's the thing. It sounds to me like her aunt thinks she's supposed to be planning the shower. She's the one who's supposed to be planning, which means I plan, which means I get to choose. There's no communication here. This girl starts planning over here, and she said, well, you're not grateful. It's because she thinks she's supposed to be the one doing all the planning. She's supposed to be the one. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what the aunt thinks. Like, you're not understanding what I'm saying. The aunt thinks that she's supposed to be making all the decisions.
But it's the wording was, with some persuasion, people brought me around to the idea of a couple shower, and my aunt kept pestering me to let her plan it.
Right, and if she said, okay, you plan it, then that sounds like I give up all decision-making powers.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem here. If you don't want her to throw a shower, tell her to stop fucking planning a shower, and you're not going to throw it. She's going to be mad at you, but fucking get over it, whatever. That's what you have to do. Otherwise, if you say to her, yes, you can plan it, then you better get out of your goddamn way, because she's going to do whatever she wants. She doesn't have to follow whatever you want her to follow, right? That's my point.
Yeah.
You need to be very clear when it comes to one of these things about how involved you expect to be, right? This goes for bachelorette parties, for bachelor parties, all of these things, right? Because this happens at, like, bachelor parties. There are people who take over bachelor parties, and there are bachelors who say, hey, like, what's up, dude? Like, you didn't even involve me in this. And there are other times where there are bachelors who are like, I don't want to know anything. Surprise me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the same thing happens with bachelorettes and bachelorette parties and all that stuff, right? And so, but that's my thing. If somebody is pestered, like, here's the other thing, right? This woman has given off the vibe that she doesn't want this. She doesn't care about this, right? I mean, she says that. She specifically says, I don't want this, right?
Yeah.
Here's the piece of information that I think is missing, right? And I'm going to go against what I normally do, and I'm going to read into this question just a touch. Because what I think is missing here is that this woman has said to her aunt for years at this point. She said, I still don't understand the first part, where she's like, whatever, for 5 years. I was like, oh, that just fucking came out of left field. Like, that didn't make any sense.
They've been living together for 5 years, which, like, I
just mean, like, the context in which she said it. Like, she's just all of a sudden, she's like talking about something, and then she's like, yeah, because we've been together for 5 years. I was like, well, that's not a causation situation. Like, those two statements are not correlated.
In terms of getting a bridal shower.
No, but I'm saying specifically the way she said it, it was not correlated. Yeah. Like, those two things were. I understood what she was saying. Like, I got the point. But again, this is my point.
The problem.
Right? Yes. This is very specifically my point. This comes down to a lot of these issues are caused by miscommunication. Right? A lot of human problems are caused by miscommunication. And what I'm saying very specifically, if you read the sentence, read up until
I was trying to
and read up until she says for 5 years.
So I never really wanted a bridal wedding shower because my fiance and I have been living together for 5 years.
That makes no sense. Those two things don't go together, right? I understand what she's saying. We've been together too long, but saying I don't want one because we've been together for 5 years with no other context
Yeah.
is not a sentence structure that works.
Yeah, it
If
should
that's
have been
if that's all
period,
you have.
and then I don't want one. We have everything we need because we've been living together for 5 years.
Exactly.
It's just like
And
I
this
don't want
is-
one. Yes.
Right. But this is my point, right? Having somebody open her fucking question with something that makes literally no sense whatsoever. I understand the point. I'm not a moron. Like I get you don't have to be a genius to understand what she's saying, right? Well, I said I'm not a moron. I didn't say that I was a genius. I said I'm not a moron. There's a big difference between those two things. You know what I mean? Like I'm a little bit higher than Forrest Gump. I'm not Stephen Hawking. You know, like that's a pretty wide range of where I am, right? But your point is taken, and even a moron like me can understand that what she said was not it didn't make any sense. That alone didn't make any sense, right? You had to keep reading in order to understand very specifically what she was saying.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can understand from context and all that stuff, but that's my point. She is a bad communicator, okay? Now during those 5 years, my guess is she's probably said a bunch of stuff like, I don't want to have a shower. I don't want whatever. I don't care. That's not important to me. All these things. She's probably said that a number of times, and her aunt has probably heard that a number of times.
Yeah.
Here is the fucking problem with that. You then had to be convinced. You literally had to be convinced to let somebody throw you a party. That's what she said. I had to be persuaded for somebody else to throw me a party. And then her aunt said, can I plan it for you? And she said, fine, right? Now, I don't know if that's the exact verbatim, but that's basically what she communicated, right? To us, to the people who weren't there. That's how it sounds like it went down to me. Here's the problem.
I was trying to see if like she said it explicitly at any point, and she doesn't.
No, she's been saying for 5 years. Again, this is my point. Like, this is why, like, I don't need fucking all of this. Like, this is my just gut reaction. This is all off the cuff. I'm telling you, like, I heard what she said. She just said, you stated her problems, and immediately I went, you're not a good communicator. And so for 5 years, she's been saying, I don't care about this. And then her aunt said, well, but is it okay if I plan you one? And she goes, whatever. That's basically what happened. And now she's going to get fucking uppity about the type of shit that's going on? Of course her aunt's going to be pissed. Her aunt's going to be like, what the fuck? You told me you didn't care about this. This is our shit. Now you're going to fucking micromanage me? Now you're going to fucking be looking over my shoulder? Just fucking sitting on my back the whole time I'm planning you this? Of course she feels like you're ungrateful. Because you're a bad fucking communicator. You're a terrible communicator. This girl needs to learn how to communicate. She needs to get in there, and she needs to understand that all of the stuff she's doing, all of the stuff, and the lack of clarity in getting her feelings across, right? She's like, well, I'm an environmentalist or whatever, and I don't think we should use paper or whatever. Okay, fine. Did you communicate that in a way that says very specifically that thing? I don't know. I can't tell you. I honestly don't know. I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess whatever she thought she got across was not what she actually got across, based on the 7 sentences that I've heard from her that meant dick to me, right? Like where I was confused, even though it was a very simple idea that she was trying to convey, it still didn't work. That's where I'm getting to, right? Like, yes, she's being ungrateful. It's not her fault. She's not trying to be ungrateful, but I'm saying you need to have some fucking self-awareness and understand that other people think you're ungrateful because of things that you have done. It's your fault. I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but I'm saying it's your fault. Now, should your aunt do what you said, which is take your feelings into consideration, ask what you want at this party, give only the thing, don't do the evites, don't do the paper invites, all this. Should she do that? Probably.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you're not conveying that, and you basically told her, I don't care about any of these details, and then the second she put something up, you went, fuck you, this is terrible. Honestly, that's what her aunt is hearing. Her aunt is hearing that, right? By the way, I realized like earlier on that you say aunt is aunt, and so I tried to keep doing that. Like when I heard it, and I was like, oh, all right, well, let me see, because I don't say that. I don't say aunt, I say aunt, right? And so I tried to do it, and I did it for like half this time, and then right there at the end, I said fine, I threw it in, and I was like, whatever. So yes, for anybody out there who's like, oh, well, this guy changes to, 100%. I absolutely did. I was trying to do the thing, and it didn't.
Yeah, that's a New England.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you guys don't know how to say anything. That makes a lot of sense.
You
Um,
mean we speak real English?
what are you talking about?
Or
No,
as
you're
close to
fucking.
it?
No, you're like fucking. Oh, Mario, right? No, it's not Mario. He goes, it's me, I'm Mario, right? No, it's fucking Mario because that's what was Mario says his own name, right? Mario says his own name.
I'm not sure if that's a New England thing, but let's move on.
Well, it's a Northeast thing, all right. So here's the deal. If you care about this, that you need to sit down and have a conversation with your aunt and say to her, hey, I actually do appreciate, and you know what? I think actually this is my mistake because I haven't communicated in the way that I should have communicated with you. I would still like you to be involved in this, but I would also like to be involved because actually it turns out that some of these things, if we're going to do this, and I do, again, I appreciate you doing it, and I'm glad we're going to do this and all these things, but because we're going to do it, I actually do care about some of these issues, and so I would like you to respect, kind of my wishes on some of these things. So I would like to hear your ideas on themes and things like that, and maybe we could come to some sort of conclusion. But for me, it's important that we don't send out paper invitations. Like that's the important thing to me. I don't want to have this if we don't. And again, I appreciate what you're doing. It's not because I don't like what you're doing. I really respect. So actually, I would love for you to help me make like an awesome Evite. Like, is there something we can do that would be kind of classy, like electronically? Like that would be really cool, right? Like that's what you need to do. You need to sit down and have that conversation with her and understand that this is all stemming from bad communication on your part that began with you. That was your fault, right? That's what was happening here. That's what's happening here. I don't know. What do you have any takes? I don't know.
What I was gonna say is, her reasons for not wanting paper invitations seem like, something that might be important to her, like sustainability, like a way that she really does live her life.
Yep.
And it sounds like instead of driving, like her aunt seems a little bit more old school, so maybe she doesn't really understand that things like sending a Facebook invite, sending an Evite is perfectly acceptable, and that it's not necessarily rude. Like sometimes that's like the etiquette of things is like gets wrapped up, and this is something like, hey, I know this doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but we live our lives with like sustainable intentions, and this for me is like really hard for me to let this point go. It might seem silly to you, and it might seem like I'm being disrespectful, but this is how we live our life. This is how most of our friends live our life. So me sending this out is not something I'm comfortable with. There are different types of paper that have seeds in them that you then plant in the ground, and that they're paper. So there's ways to make it more sustainable, or to make it, I know I've gotten those for wedding invitations, where someone,
Well, that's the point. Compromise,
like
right?
thank you
Compromise.
notes, like had that, and it was in remembrance. Here, grow some flowers to think about our wedding and our life together.
100%.
You create new life as we are too. Like you can make it sustain. There are ways to have this conversation, and it doesn't sound like she's really told her this is an important point to me, and you're being disrespectful. Yeah, and it 100%. Sounds like to throw in the mom thing, the stepmom thing, they haven't had a conversation about that. It sounds like she needs to be like, Aunt Judy, I don't want you to talk shit about my stepmom anymore. You have problems. You talk to them. Do not say that to me anymore. I'm done. Honestly, and that hasn't happened.
Honestly, I disagree with your last point. I think you shouldn't say anything about your stepmom because you don't have the ability to convey your thoughts in a rational, logical manner. And so until you get that shit fixed, I think you're going to make the problem worse. Like just that. And that's like, I'm not saying like you shouldn't say exactly what you said. I'm saying you're going to fuck that up. Like badly. So I would say don't do that because you're not prepared to do that. Right? Like you literally don't possess the ability to do that in a way that is going to be effective. That's my take on that last point.
Yeah.
Also, I completely forgot that was something thrown in. Again, shitty communication. I should have been tipped off immediately. You got to put things together that make sense, right? If that's part of this whole thing, if we missed a whole section related to your fucking stepmom, you probably should have included some details.
And I mean, that seems like a big thing, right? She part of it was she got pissed at her because she talked to her stepmom about the venue, and she got her aunt seemed to get hurt that like she wasn't talking to her, but she was talking to her stepmom. That's the issue that her aunt seemed to get upset about. They're not really addressing like, hey, Aunt Judy, like, what do you need from me? If you're frustrated with me, I'm not understanding what you need because I don't really want this. I'm not into bridal showers. You know a lot. Tell me the explicit things you need. I don't give a shit about themes. If you want me to pick because you want me to have the final voice, give me 2 options. I'll pick 2 of those. We'll move on. Christmas, and if you want the theme to be a Christmas party and it's just like a couple celebration, make that clear, and then she can go with that. Like I know I planned like my sister's bridal shower, and our light theme was like succulents, you know, like there wasn't like, it wasn't overt, there wasn't an overt
That's
theme
not a
because my
thing, but
sister
okay.
didn't want it, but it like tied together, you know, it was like slightly floral or whatnot, like so it looked nice in pictures, but like we didn't really go into a theme. Like you know, if the theme isn't important, whatever, you make it clear what's important to you. That's obviously like you didn't know that, but not having a theme is very important to you apparently, and you're trying to downplay it like it's not, but it's a sore subject. It's okay if you
She's
change
fired
your
up,
mind.
ladies and gentlemen. She is fired up. We finally got her. She's fired up. She's coming out of her shell more and more these days. She's getting very upset about this. She's very tired. She's running on fumes, and yet she still has the ability to scream at this woman to tell her to get her head out of her own ass. I love to see it. That's why I keep you around. 100%.
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
it. I think we've done it. I think we've
We have.
yelled at this lady enough. Let's get out of here. Again, we appreciate everybody watching. If you have questions, you can email us, wedding questions, relationship questions, life questions, whatever, anything. You can email us. What's the email?
info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com.
Right, so you can hit us up there. You can, check out, if you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate it. Please subscribe and unsubscribe and resubscribe, whatever you're supposed to do. Like, just keep doing that over and over. If you're watching on YouTube, again, we appreciate it. Subscribe and like or comment, whatever. Do whatever you want. We
Do
appreciate
what you're
that.
supposed to do, and then let
Yeah,
us know what is supposed to happen. As
that's
you've
correct.
noticed, we don't know.
That's correct, and I'm too lazy to
We're
look it
just
up.
doing it and seeing how it goes. So
100%. And
we
if
need
you're
help,
doing,
and you only get what you ask for.
that's correct. And if you're doing one of those 2 things, then please also do the other one, because we're trying to be global here, and apparently that's how you get global, I think. So let's do that so that I can do this full time and I don't have to work all day and then do this in order to help these people stop being stupid. I would appreciate that. So anyways, thank you very much. We appreciate everybody watching and listening and all that stuff. And we will see you next time to help another bride have her perfect wedding day after she gets her head out of her ass.